Minasan, konnichiwa, Alain de Lepiane desu, onyakusha desu, demo chotto muzukashi desu kara, isho ni honyakusha no honyakusha arimasu. Konnichiwa. Hi, so we will start this little perspective on LocJAM 2014. I wouldn't call it a post-mortem yet because we haven't finished yet, but I hope that at least this could give some perspective on what we've done. So first of all, what is the Republic Times? The Republic Times is a game that came out in April 2012. It's a flash game that was created in just 2 days for a jam competition, and it was rather popular because it was short but rather rich. If you know Papers, Please, it's the same author, so it's that kind of theme, a bit of humor in the context of world, a bit dystopian with a strong government and so on. So it's very, very rich in terms of text and writing. So I used it for creating a video tutorial. I'm a freelancer, so in May 2013, 1 year after the game came out and 1 year before now, I created this 22 minutes tutorial on my website explaining how I translate video games and how I will translate this specific game. People liked it. We had thousands of visitors, comments, and comments fell into two fields. The first one is, how can we translate it to? How can I do the same? It was very hard because the game was never built for localization. At the same time, people got interested into that and say, I'm not a professional, but I would like to work with you. And I had to answer, sorry, we are very busy and I cannot really work with someone who hasn't got experience. And the answer was, yeah, but everybody's saying that. How do you make experience in this field? And that got me thinking. So first thing first, I got in touch with the creator of the game. He was glad for me to make a translation competition around his game. And so I had to prepare the game because he wouldn't do it, he didn't have the time. The deal was I will do it with no cost for him. So I got in touch with a freelancer called Christian Corbu on this online market called Elance, and he built a special loader that would inject the string in the games. It worked very well because no matter how broken the text is, the game underneath will never crash. On an even higher level, I had the help of Stan Osier from tierzen.com, a programmer I know very well and respect because he built our invoicing system, and he helped create a framework made in WordPress that will manage all the entries for candidates through an online interface, and on top we put this theme bought on Team Forest called Eventify, and with this we arrived in January 2014, 3 months before the actual competition start. So how much did this cost? Just $700. That's between buying the theme, the pictures, the development for the game and the website and so on. That's more or less the budget for 2 or 3 rounds of our Nengajo card. So if we put it in a perspective of promotion, it's fair enough even for a small team like ours. And in any case, the GDA Foundation said that they are interested in refunding at least part of that. So when we had the basis ready, we got in touch with the jury. I got in touch with companies I knew and respected for being paying on time and being serious with their collaborators, and we studied, and I must say thank you to IGDA Japan for the idea. We chose not to have them as a single jury. They wouldn't pick the best translator of the year. each of them would recommend what they enjoyed. And that's changed everything. First of all, it avoided a lot of management issues. Each one is responsible for its own opinion, but it also changed the tone. It's not the Oscars, it's not a cutthroat competition, it is a party, a celebration. We have more than 50 winners, between winners by merit, those that are picked by the jury, and winners by luck through the raffle of the tool makers that also volunteered to join. Did it work? We had many visitors. In the 2 months the website has been active, which means between the beginning of March and the end of April, in those 2 months we had 6,000 visitors. That means 100 visitors per day. And we had the peak, of course, is when the competition started in April 5 with 900 visitors, and the second most busy day, it was on when we launched the website in March 3, around 600 people. And again, I'm glad we went with Tirzen, because not a single problem with the website. The visitors we had mostly from Spain and Italy, as you can see here, 25% Spain, 16% Italy, and then the other languages around 8%. We can notice that between United States and United Kingdom we have about 13%, which places it as the third group of the lot of users. In any case, yes, there's no denying that this was mostly a Euro-Japanese kind of event. The source, as we saw, we had 46% people direct, coming, typing directly on their own. Then we have 21% of 21% of social, and then we had the rest coming, mostly referrals from websites. So yeah, promotion actually did work pretty well through both word of mouth, websites, and so on. So we had 494 valid entries, and by language, more or less they mirror what we saw before of the visitors, with Spain before as 36%, then 25 around for Italian, and everything else. We might notice the only difference is Japanese gets almost halved between the visitors and the candidates. There is a reason for that. It's because Japanese, the game was in a very retro style, and that means that the kanji were very hard to read, and that put a whole extra layer of effort for people. And I read comments of Japanese candidates that said that they gave up because it was really just too hard. Incidentally, Japanese is the language that had less entries, unfortunately. Then we had the split, 42 professional and 58 amateur. We had a majority of amateurs, both for the channels we chose. We were mostly active on gaming websites and so on, and also there is a problem with professionals. First, maybe we needed some bigger prizes. Second, being the first edition, there was a negative perception about having people working for free, and that's a hurdle we had to challenge. Hopefully it will get better now that people can see what we did really. What we did is, for example, have workshops with more than 180 people, completely free, completely non-promotional, and in different universities also around the world. We had the University of Barcelona, University of Roehampton, and so on. And we have more than 2 hours and a half of footage that are freely available online for everyone. So yeah, people liked it. We have the very good feedback during, before, during, and after. I really like this comment, which I think really sums up what we were trying to do. And they are asking for more. They are already talking about LocJAM 2015. It's almost a given. Which, of course, from the perspective of aspiring localizers and students, is all understandable, and I think it's very nice to do. But at the same time, I believe that this can be something useful for us as an industry, as a mirror of what we are and what we do. Just giving a look at small data like the amount of spelling mistakes. So for example, 20% of Italian professional candidates made spelling mistakes, which incidentally makes them not applicable as real professionals. Or the fact this is a preview. We have different jurors, each one goes independently, but in 77% of the cases, one candidate has been chosen by a single juror, which means that there is still a huge variety of points of view in this industry. And we can learn a lot about how the different countries localize their terms. So for example, Democre, which is one of the countries, was never translated in Italian and was completely translated in one translation out of 6 in Japanese. Or on the other side, if the fictional name of fantasy character will be translated. In this case, we have the whole array, and actually in this case it's very interesting because Japanese doesn't translate it many times. So there's a lot to learn, and it has been an honor to just come up with this idea, and then hopefully we will learn from it and build for the future. So again, 511 times thank you to everyone who participated, and for any question I'm here, and thanks again to Rio for the interpreting. Thank you.